Revelio. Welcome to Harry Potter Yoga.
Hi everyone, welcome to Harry Potter Yoga. I am Ashley, also known as the Yogi Next Door, and this presentation is on how I developed my passion project, which was a Harry Potter themed yoga class. So, in thinking about my passion project, I had so many different ideas, but I finally decided on building a Harry Potter themed yoga class for a few different reasons. First, I thought it could be a fun way to introduce yoga to new students. So, obviously, as you all know, Harry Potter has an enormous audience, an enormous fan base, and I thought it could be a fun way for people who've never tried yoga or thought about yoga before, maybe bringing them into the yoga world, and maybe vice versa, getting some of my yoga friends to enjoy Harry Potter. I also thought it would be a cool way to explore and introduce chakras, which I'll get a little bit more into later on about how we incorporated chakras into our Harry Potter practice. In terms of my development as a teacher, I chose this specific passion project because I thought it could help me in developing skills for building themes for a class. So, this is something that I found to be super interesting and useful for my future as a yoga teacher. So, I wanted to choose a passion project that would kind of help me build on those skills of theme building. Similarly, I thought about that this would be useful for my development as a teacher in terms of learning new ways of sequencing, creative ways, putting poses together, finding the right balance of poses and counter poses, and then connecting all of that together into a cohesive class. Finally, I thought it would be a really fun way to incorporate storytelling with yoga. Obviously, Harry Potter is a super fun story, and it's a story I've listened to and told for years. So, why not combine two things that I love? Obviously, I love Harry Potter, and I was really excited to share this part of my world with my yoga part of my world. So, getting started, phase one of my passion project was concept development. So, if you're not familiar with Harry Potter, it's basically the story of students at a magic boarding school. The students are separated into four houses based on their personality traits. So, Hogwarts is the name of the school, and they're separated into these four houses when they start school there. In terms of incorporating chakras, when I first was thinking, okay, how can I develop a Hogwarts class? Do I choose poses that have similar names to magic spells, or do I make poses that gets our body in the shape of different movements in the magical world, like riding a broom, etc., etc.? But I finally settled on connecting these personality traits that the four different houses embody and connecting those with a chakra energy. So each house would be connected with a certain chakra, which I'll explain a little more on my process in just a few moments. Obviously, I knew I would have to do a lot of pose research if I'm going the chakra route in terms of finding poses that align with each of the chakras so that they're energetically matched to each house. Finally, working on the sequencing, and this posed a large part of my kind of brainstorming because I wasn't quite sure how to incorporate all of this together. I knew I wanted to build a chakra aligned practice for a specific chakra and then have that connect with the emotional and personality type of each house, but I wasn't sure if I should make four standalone mini sequences or maybe blending all of the four chakras and four house, personality types all together into one long class. And I kind of decided to do a combination of both of those things. So I kept each house separate from each other, but they're built into one cohesive class, one flowing to the next. So, in order to do that, I kept all of the poses together. It's about 10 minutes per house, roughly, making a 40-minute all in class. So we start class in Hufflepuff, for example, do all of our poses that are energetically aligning our Hufflepuff chakra, which I'll explain in the next slide. And then we take kind of a pause in between each chakra, reconnecting with our breath, refocusing on our body, and then we move to the next chakra and the next house. So a way to do that so it was flowing really nicely is I paused after each house and read part of the poem, which the Sorting Hat sings, describing the personality traits of each Hogwarts house. So obviously putting that all together was creating this cohesive yoga class. It's about 40 minutes from beginning to end. We flow slowly from one house to the next, keeping them separate, but a cohesive feeling all together. So part 2, after I had the idea of what I wanted it to look like, was to do the research. I had to first define the specific personality traits for each Hogwarts house. So first we have Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs are described in Harry Potter as just, loyal, steady, and true. Next we have Slytherin. Slytherins are described as cunning, determined, and ambitious. Next we have Gryffindor. Gryffindors are kind of the hero character of the stories. Harry Potter is a Gryffindor. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, now you know. They're described as daring, courageous, brave, and chivalrous. And finally, we have Ravenclaw. Ravenclaws are described as wise, quick-witted, intuitive, and clever. So then after I had this idea, this very clear definition in my mind of what defines the students in each of these houses, I had wanted to go ahead and choose one chakra for each house that would most embody that spirit and personality of that house. Now, this is again a place where I had some internal debate and discussion with myself, thinking, well, obviously, multiple chakras could apply to multiple houses, but I really wanted it to be straightforward, simple, and easy so that it could be a class suitable for beginners wanting to practice yoga. We don't want too complicated poses, but also complicated in the sense of the idea of what a chakra is and then incorporating that energetic idea into our physical practice. I want it to be very clear cut and straightforward so that it could be accessible to more students, more people. So in this thought process, I connected Hufflepuff with the root chakra, Slytherin with the solar plexus chakra, Gryffindor with the heart chakra, and Ravenclaw with the third eye chakra. All right, so after all of that was decided and I had worked out all of these little kinks and details, I moved on to phase 3, which was the pose, choice, and sequencing. So I really spent a lot of time researching all the different poses that energetically aligned with each of the 4 chakras. And at first I was just gathering information, literally just making lists under root chakra and then writing down every single pose that I could find that aligned well to that root chakra. So I did that for all 4 of the chakras that I chose to represent the 4 houses. And then I very methodically went through choosing which poses first were appropriate for a beginner level class. So obviously, we're not doing handstands in a beginner level class. I wanted all of the poses to be accessible to beginners to make the class easier for more people. And then I also wanted, of course, to arrange them in a safe and fun sequence that allowed us to flow from one house to the next while still keeping them, kind of those demarcation lines of, all right, first we have the Hufflepuff poses, then we have the Slytherin poses, then Gryffindor, then Ravenclaw. So they're together in a cohesive practice, but they're each separated into their own little section of practice. In terms of the pose sequencing, also, I really kind of had to make sure that the poses were flowing one to the next, having the proper counter poses, and that was part of the researching, making sure like I wasn't doing too many of the same type of pose all in a row. Okay, phase 4, probably the most fun phase, and maybe the easiest, although it does take some finagling, is the practice phase. So this was putting it all together and running through the sequence. So really, when you're writing a brand new sequence that you've never tried before physically, it might look good on paper, but then when you go to do it, you think, oh, it doesn't quite flow right from one pose to the next. And I really need a counter pose here, and this transition is just a little too awkward. It's not really working. So I definitely spent a lot of time. I ran through it a few times fully, and then different parts, more than that, just making sure it flowed nicely, where we felt that we had a cohesive class all together, but then also we had like the separate energetic vibes for each class. And then, of course, this is the part where I get to make sure all of the music is connecting and music is flowing before I film the video. All right, so here we have our 40-minute Harry Potter yoga practice. Feel free to grab your mat and join me while we discover which house suits you best. Enjoy. And let me just make sure this is the full screen and start at the beginning. Hello yogis, welcome to Harry Potter Yoga with the Yogi Next Door. Now you might not need your wand for practice today, but you will need your yoga mat and a sense of fun as we explore all 4 houses by using yoga. So without further ado, let's come to our mats and begin. Let's start in easy pose. Nice cross-legged seat. Find a comfortable position for your legs as your sitting bones root down into the earth. Let your eyes come closed, your hands rest on your knees, palms down. Feel your foundation supported by the ground, connecting down, letting your spine grow tall and strong. As we move through our asanas today, we'll be exploring chakra lining poses connecting us to each of the 4 houses: Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Gryffindor, and Ravenclaw. Take a few minutes getting connected with your breath here, feeling that calm, collected, just and true energy as we connect to the earth. Now you might belong in Hufflepuff, where they are just and loyal. Those patient Hufflepuffs are true and unafraid of toil. On your next inhale, come forward onto your knees and then releasing back to child's pose. Our knees are wide, big toes come to touch. Exhale, sit back onto your heels, letting your forehead come all the way down to rest on the mat. We feel our root chakra, that spot, the very bottom of our spine, reaching back into space here. As we inhale, imagine your breath almost coming through that point of energy right at the base of your spine. It moves up your back, filling up your ribs. And as you exhale, feel yourself releasing down into the earth. Letting your breath go nice and long, slow and controlled. On your next inhale, rise all the way up through tabletop position, letting your chest reach up and forward, tailbone reaching up to the sky, coming through our cow pose. And as we exhale, floating all the way back down to child's pose. Inhaling, rising to cow, our belly drops. Exhale, flowing down through child's. Continue with your own breath. Inhaling to rise. Exhale, curling down. Root reaching back. One more full cycle. Inhale, meet up in a neutral tabletop position. Our hands are underneath our shoulders. Lift the fingers, spread them wide, and then press evenly through our knuckles. Slight tuck in on the thumbs. This is our Hasabandha, our hand lock, protecting our wrists throughout practice today. Tuck under the toes. Inhale, straightening through the legs, hips rise up. Exhale, settle low into downward facing dog. Feeling our root chakra, our sitting bones shining up to the sky. Take a moment walking the dog, stretching one heel down to the floor and then the other, gently warming up the backs of our legs, our ankles, Achilles tendons. Continue with your slow, controlled breathing. Long inhales and long exhales. Our energy is steady and calm, just like that of the loyal Hufflepuff. Settle in stillness in the pose. Inhale, rise onto your toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and step to the front of your mat. Heel toe your feet hip distance apart. That's 2 fists distance. Bend your knees deeply. Cross opposite elbows and gently rock back and forth in our rag doll. Releasing the weight of our upper body down over our lower body. Our tailbone reaching up to the sky as our crown reaches down to the floor. Nod your head yes and shake your head no, letting your head hang heavy on the end of your spine. Release your hands to the mat. Heel toe your feet to touch, big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Feel your feet rooting down into the earth as you inhale, rising up halfway. Hands resting on your shins or maybe your thighs. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, hands down to heart center, and then release your hands down by your sides. Feel your feet connecting with the earth here. Let your eyes come closed for just a moment. Maybe rock slightly side to side, back and forth, finding that connection between all 4 points of your feet, balancing down, rooting into the earth. Slight tuck in your tailbone, feeling that middle point reaching all the way down to the earth, connecting with that root, that rooted, grounded energy. Feel your crown rebounding up. Our spine is long and tall and strong. Connecting as our root energy is reaching down, feeling like a loyal, steady, just and true Hufflepuff. Inhale, our arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step the right leg back, release the knee and foot to the floor. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. As our arms reach up, our palms connect, forming a straight line from our hands all the way down our spine, through our root, connecting our energy with the floor. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Tuck under the right toes and send the left foot back, coming to plank pose. We feel a strong engagement in our core here as our tailbone and crown stretch in opposite directions. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down, knees, then your chest, then chin, releasing all the way down to the mat. On your next inhale, pull your shoulders down your back as your chest reaches up and forward to the front of the room. Legs are engaged, back is engaged. One more inhale, rise a little bit higher. Exhale, lower to the mat. Pressing up through plank pose, and then hips back as we exhale, downward facing dog. One full breath here. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, step the right foot forward, left knee and left foot release down to the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead, palms coming to touch as we sink low into our Anjaneyasana, low lunge. We feel our root energy, our root chakra, reaching down to connect with the power of the earth. That slow, steady, grounded energy. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot. Tuck under the left toes and step forward, releasing an Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, circling the arms, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes for just a moment. Again, connecting with your breathing as your inhales are long and steady, and your exhale is long and steady. Perhaps, in fact, you belong in Slytherin. Here you'll make your real friends. These cunning folks use any means to achieve their ends. On your next inhale, step your right foot back. Arms reach up, rising to crescent lunge. Our front leg is a strong 90-degree angle. Our back leg is fully extended. Pressing through the ball of our foot, our heel is lifted up off the floor. We feel our solar plexus chakra, our navel energy, really reaching forward, engaging strongly through our core muscles to keep us upright. Inhale, feel yourself grow a little bit taller. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Right hand inside the left foot. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky, revolved crescent lunge. As we twist in our lunge here, feel your abdominal muscles twisting, engaging through our navel energy. We're confident, strong, determined. One more inhale. Exhale, hand come down to frame the foot. Step the right foot forward, releasing forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, left leg steps back, rising up, crescent lunge with our right leg forward. Feel your navel energy reaching forward. We're confident, strong, determined, destined for success, just like a Slytherin. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Left hand comes inside the right foot. Inhale, right arm reaching up to the sky, getting this nice twist through our strong Slytherin core. One more inhale at the top. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Step forward, releasing forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, arms sweep up and above. Exhale, hands to heart center. On your next inhale, left leg steps back, at first to a crescent lunge, and then drop your heel down as your arms reach up overhead, warrior one. Our back heel is down to the mat, our right toes are pointing forward. Exhale, arms open wide in a T. Feel yourself settling low. Inhale, right leg straightens. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat, right arm reaches up to the sky. Revolved triangle pose. Again, twisting through our Slytherin core, building our energy of determination, ambition, and confidence. One more inhale, and exhale. Feel your chest opening a little bit more towards the sky. Slight bend in your right knee as you inhale, rising back up, sink low, warrior one. One more inhale at the top. Exhale, hands come down. Stepping forward, release, forward fold. center. On your next inhale, right leg steps back, and then the heel drops down as the arms reach up overhead, warrior one. Our right toes are pointing to the side of the mat, left toes pointing forward. One more big inhale. Exhale, arms open to a T. Inhale, straighten through the left leg, and then exhale, open your chest to the left side of the room, right hand coming down to the mat, left arm up to the sky. We let our gaze follow our left hand, continuing that twist all the way from our navel all the way up through our neck. If that's too tricky on your neck, you can look down at the bottom hand. But I bet you determined Slytherins are doing your absolute best. One more inhale. Exhale, open your chest more to the ceiling. On your next inhale, slight bend in the left knee, rising back up, arms to warrior one, and then exhale, sinking low, warrior one. One more inhale here. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Stepping back this time to plank pose. We feel our tailbone and crown stretching in opposite directions, our core strongly engaged, holding us up off the earth. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Release all the way down to the mat. Palms planted alongside our chest, legs fully engaged, pressing through the tops of our feet. On your next inhale, shoulders pull down your back as your chest reaches up and forward. Feel your core fully engaged, lifting your torso up off the ground. One more inhale, rise a little higher. Exhale, lower down to the mat, release. Take one full breath here. Feel your solar plexus chakra coming alive. You're feeling confident, determined, and ambitious with our Slytherin energy. Your next inhale, shoulders move down the back as you rise up, or Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Our legs are fully engaged, tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Inhale, a challenge for you Slytherins. Lift those hands up off the mat and try to keep your torso raised. One more inhale, and exhale, lower all the way down, releasing to the mat. One full breath here. Exhale, let it go. Scooch over to one side of your mat and then roll all the way over onto your back. Inhale, rising up to a seated position. Coming to Dambasana, boat pose, our last Slytherin pose before we move on to our next house. Our hands are on the mat behind us, fingers pointing towards the feet, palms pressing into the mat. Inhale, legs lift up off the floor, keeping our calves parallel to the mat. If this is enough strength for you Slytherins, you could stay right here, or for a challenge, straighten your legs and extend your arms straight out from your body. Feel your core pulling in towards your spine, engaging the energy of our strong solar plexus chakra. One more inhale, and exhale, lower your hands, lower your feet to the mat. Turning to face for just a moment, in our easy pose, let your hands again rest on your knees, eyes can close for just a moment. Feel your shoulders pull down away from your ears as your chest blossoms to the front of the room. You might belong in Gryffindor, where dwell the brave at heart. Their daring, nerve, and chivalry set Gryffindors apart. Inhale, extending your legs long. Hands come behind our back. Fingers pointing towards the feet, palms pressing into the mat. Our legs are extended about hip distance apart, so again, that's 2 fists between our heels. On your next inhale, press up through your hips, sending your chest up high to the sky, coming to our reverse plank pose. Keep a slight tuck in your chin, protecting your neck as your heart energy soars open to the sky. One more inhale, a reverse plank, chest opening. Exhale, slowly lower down to the mat. Take a slight breather, hands on the knees, sitting tall, growing up through our sit bones. And exhale, let it go. Cross over through your feet, coming up and over your knees to an all fours position. Our knees are wide, big toes to touch. Exhale, sit back onto our heels, coming to a wide-legged Virasana pose, hero's pose. Now you know us Gryffindors can't help but play the hero, as Hermione wisely reminds us. As we sit here in Virasana's pose, feel your shoulders drawing down your spine, opening your chest up to the sky, to the front of the room. Our courage, our bravery, and our daring growing as we open through our heart chakra. On your next inhale, come forward slightly onto your knees. This time, hands come onto the mat. Palms down, fingers facing back towards the body. Come forward as much as you need to place your palms flat onto the floor, and then exhale, gently sitting back, stretching through our inner arms. Now we're going to practice our lion's breath, our brave Gryffindor lion. One big inhale, looking up to the ceiling, your head is tilted back slightly. Exhale, open your mouth wide, sticking out the tongue, let out a big lion roar. Let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale. Exhale, lion's breath. One more time. Big inhale. Exhale, lion's breath. Good. Release your wrists, giving a nice wrist roll. Come back to sit on your heels. Palms come to touch at our heart center. Feel your shoulders release down from your ears. We're steady and strong as our heart energy reaches forward, showing love and loyalty to our friends, courage in times of difficulty, and chivalry when it counts. Twisting through our wrists here, our palms are touching each other. Open, rolling over the pinkies, roll the backs of your hands together, and then fingers come in towards the body, under and out to the front of the room, rolling through the wrists. There's really no right or wrong way to roll our wrists here, just getting a nice, gentle stretch as our heart reaches forward, sending that loving energy out into the world. Release your hands. Your next inhale, come up to your knees. Heels now moving, so our heels and hips are aligned here. Heels are hip distance, knees are hip distance. Tuck under the toes so that our heels are reaching up to the sky as we inhale, rising up to an upright position. On your next inhale, right hand comes to your right heel as your left arm sweeps up overhead, coming to our half camel pose. One big inhale here at the top. Feel your heart reaching up to the sky. And exhale, draw your hand in, centered just over your heart. Feel your heart energy being pulled up by this hand. Exhale, arm extends long, and you sweep back through center. Left hand comes onto the heel. Inhale, right arm reaches up overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, draw the hand in towards the heart. Feel your heart reaching up to the sky, our heart chakra energy soaring. Exhale, arm extends long, and then sweeps forward, coming back through center. Cross over your heels, sit back over your feet extending out in front of us. Scoot forward onto your mat, and then gently lower all the way down to our back. Our last heart chakra pose before we move on to our next house. Draw your heels in close to your sitting bones. If you reach down with your fingers, you should be able to touch the backs of your heels. Tuck under your shoulder blades, one and then the other, feeling your heart already reaching up to the sky. Palms pressing strongly into the mat just below our hips. On your next inhale, press through your feet, sending your hips up to the sky. Bridge pose. Our belly grows as our heart reaches up almost to the back wall of the room. One more inhale, release your glutes as you're sending your knees forward in space. Heart blossoming and blooming upwards. One more inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, release down. Windshield wiper, dropping your knees over to one side and then the other, releasing through your low back. Feel your heart energy coming alive as you send your heart up and forward each time. Inhale, rise back to center. Now you can do bridge pose again, the same that we just did, following the same instructions. Or for a bigger challenge for those really brave, courageous Gryffindors, rising all the way up to wheel pose. Feet remain close to our sitting bones, arms reach up overhead. Palms on the mat, fingers pointing down towards our shoulders. On your next inhale, press strongly through your hands and feet, rising up all the way to wheel. Feel your heart growing, reaching back to the back of the room. Our heart energy is soaring here. Try to release your glutes, lifting up a little bit higher. One more inhale. Exhale, tuck the chin. Slowly, controlled manner, lower onto the back of your head, and then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time until you're fully released down onto the mat. Arms open wide in cactus arms. Drop the knees over to one side and then the other. Windshield wipering our legs, releasing in our lower back. Feel the warmth and energy rising out of your heart chakra here. Draw your knees in close to your chest. Grasp onto opposite hands, maybe interlacing your fingers. Or just place your hands on either shin, right a few inches below the knees. Rock and roll. On an inhale, start to rock back and forward, massaging along your spine. All the way back and then all the way forward until you're seated upright. Continue rolling, maybe getting a little more momentum, a little more speed each time, and then on your next time coming forward, cross your ankles and roll all the way up onto your knees. Coming through to our all fours position. Take a moment sitting back onto the heels. Letting your hands come to rest on your knees. Close your eyes for just a moment. Bring your attention to that spot right between your eyebrows, or third eye chakra. See, you might belong with wise old Ravenclaw if you are a ready mind, where those of wit and learning will always find their kind. Blink open your eyes as we move through our third eye chakra poses and get connected with our Ravenclaw energy. Inhale, coming forward to all fours. One big inhale here. Exhale, lower your forearms down to the mat, maybe interlacing your fingers. Tuck under the toes, our feet are hip distance apart. On your next inhale, press through your feet, hips rising up to the sky, and exhale, sinking low into your heels, dolphin pose. This is like our downward facing dog in our lower body, but our upper body is a little bit more engaged. This nice inversion is bringing fresh blood to our brain, sending energy through our third eye chakra, increasing our wisdom, growing our intuition, all of those quick-minded traits of Ravenclaw. One more inhale. Exhale, gently lower your knees to the mat. Release your hands. Rising back up, cross over your heels. Sit up and back over your feet, sending your legs out forward. Legs are close together from the hips all the way down to our heels, which are touching. On your inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, release down, Paschimottanasana. Bend your knees here as much as you need to let your forehead come down and rest on your knees. Releasing our third eye as we connect our forehead and our knees. Feel the stretch along the backs of your legs, your back, your shoulders, maybe your neck. Slow, steady breaths, sending energy all the way through our third eye chakra. One more full cycle of breath here. On your next inhale, gently begin to walk your hands up your legs. Bend your right leg, drawing the foot into the left inner thigh. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, left hand comes to the inside of the leg. Right arm sweeps up overhead, coming down to that left foot. Getting a nice lateral flexion in our forward bend here. Feeling that energy of our third eye just peeking out right under our arm. With each inhale, feel your ribs expanding in your right side. And then with each exhale, maybe drawing your right shoulder back slightly as your left shoulder comes forward. One more full breath. Your next inhale, gently rise up. Both arms reach to the sky, chest square over that left leg. And then exhale, releasing down over the left leg. Forehead coming to meet our knee. Again, slight bend in the knee so that we can physically connect our third eye, that spot right between our eyebrows, with our knee. Giving our third eye a gentle little massage, maybe moving in circles in one direction and then the other. Remembering raising claws. Most important message, wit beyond measure is man's greatest treasure. One more full breath. Your next inhale, gently rising up. Right leg extends, left leg bends, bringing the foot to our inner thigh. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, right hand inside the leg as the left arm sweeps up and overhead. Lateral flexion. Third eye peeking out just under our arm. Getting a nice deep expansion in our ribs as we inhale on our left side. And then as you exhale, you're drawing your right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Your next inhale, gently rising up, both arms extend, chest is square over that extended leg. And exhale, forward fold, bringing the forehead down to the knee of our right leg. And bend the knee slightly, giving a nice little massage to our third eye, sending energy, increasing our wisdom, increasing our wit and intuition and knowledge. And don't forget to massage in the other direction. One more full breath here. Inhale, gently rise all the way back up to sitting. Cross over the ankles, through to all fours. Our knees are a little bit closer together here, big toes still touching. Exhale, sit back onto your heels, coming to child's pose. This time, extending your arm down your side, feet and hands resting next to each other. Connecting your third eye with the floor, giving a nice rock back and forth, encouraging that energy to grow and expand. Next inhale, gently bring your arms forward, rising up. Cross over the ankles, sit back over the ankles. Feet extended out in front of us. Scooting forward onto the mat. Hands on the legs, gently lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Windshield wiper the knees over to one direction and then the other. Arms in a cactus arms are open wide in T. Inhale, bring your knees into your chest, grasping opposite hands, wrists, or elbows. Gently rock side to side, massaging our low back, massaging along our muscles. Your next inhale, draw your forehead in tight into a little ball and connecting your third eye with your knees. One more big inhale. And exhale, release all the way down to the mat for Shavasana. Legs extended long, feet relaxing out to the sides. Our arms rest long along our sides, palms facing up. Make any adjustments you need to get comfortable here. Maybe let out a big sigh, releasing any tension, releasing any holding. Draw your attention to your third eye. And with an exhale, ask your muscles to let go. Draw your awareness to your heart, the warmth, the power. Exhale, send your energy out through your heart. Drawing your energy to your solar plexus, right above our navel. Big inhale, feel that area rising up to the sky. We're confident and strong. Exhale, letting it go, releasing down to the earth. Feeling the very bottom of our tailbone, our root chakra. Inhale, imagine drawing the breath up through your root chakra as you inhale. Rising all the way through your torso, your chest, all the way through to your head. And exhale, slowly emptying out through the root. Begins to wander, draw your energy, your attention back to your breath, focusing on your inhale and your exhale. Inhale, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing some energy, some magic back into your body. Inhale, arms reach up as your feet stretch in the opposite direction. Try to keep your eyes closed. Roll over onto one side and then And gently press yourself up to a seated position. Maybe rising all the way up to our easy pose, how we started. Let your hands come to rest on your lap, gently drawing your awareness through your root chakra, your sitting bones reaching down to the earth. Your navel chakra, your solar plexus chakra, holding you steady. Your heart chakra, blooming and growing forward. Your third eye chakra, helping you grow wise. As we move forward into the rest of our days, I'd like you to leave you with some words from our fearless leader, Albus Dumbledore. Remember when he said, it is not our abilities that define us, but our choices. Have a wonderful, magical day to all of you Harry Potter yogis out there. The magic in me sees and honors the magic in you. Namaste. All right, so that is our 40-minute Harry Potter yoga practice. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. Thanks for watching, thanks for taking the time, and I hope you have a magical day. And if you're not already part of my group, go ahead over to Facebook and join the Yogi Next Door Facebook group. We'll be happy to have you there. Bye. Okie dokie.